Welcome to my video blog. It's Alex here, and today we're going to talk about the housing market and whether or not we think a crash is imminent. I'll give you 8 reasons today on why we don't believe a crash is coming. So number 1, subprime loans. In the pre-crash environment, they were $620 billion and made up 20% of the total mortgage market. Today, it actually makes up only $56 billion and is only 5% of that total market. So we definitely see that as a positive change. We've definitely seen that we have the highest quality of loans since the pre-market crash, because in the last 15 years, we've seen the credit scores steadily increase. In 2009, the average credit score of a borrower getting a loan was actually 686 as the FICO score. And in 2001, it was actually between 490 and 510. Lending is a lot more strict today, which is point number 3. Before the housing crisis, what we saw, and before the crash rather, is that lenders would lend up to 80% or more of a property for flip properties, meaning that investors were buying them to go ahead and then flip them. What we see now is actually they lend only up to 55% on average. So today we see that the inventory and sales are actually still 20% less than previous before the crash. And what we see on average is that there's less than 2 months of inventory available for buyers to buy in Orange County today. One thing that you realize is that there was a recession, and during that recession, there were less jobs available for new graduates. So what they decided to do instead was actually go back and get more education. And when they got more education, that led to more student loan debt. So these days, they're having to save actually more or get gifts from their parents in order to buy those homes, which means that there's actually more security and knowing that they're putting larger down payments and saving more in order to purchase a home. In the home equity in 2006, there was $85 billion of home equity. What we saw in 2010 is that there was only about $10 billion. And since 2010, it has steadily risen to be close to $16 billion. But overall, that's still a lot less compared to what it is, because we've seen more of a steady growth instead of a consistent explosion on home values. So one thing that people are quick to point out is that home prices are definitely higher than the 2006 peak in most areas. But there was $85 billion of equity in 2006. And today, we've seen that grow from 2010, there's about 10 billion, and it's grown to about 14 billion in 2015. So we've seen that grow, but in 2005 alone, the appreciation in prices was actually close to 16%. And when we factor in, we've seen a growth of roughly around 6.5% per year. It's a little more gradual, and it is a little bit more stable, especially when you factor in what's been happening on the lending side. So one other point to bring up is that home builders are now building bigger homes. Pre-market crash, they were building homes that are about 2,500 square feet, and now they're building bigger homes, roughly 2,700, and it's a factor of demand. So is there more demand today than the past? We don't know, and no one has a crystal ball. But if you focus and look at the critical data, which we'll always make sure that we review, it's really going to get you the information to help you make an educated and informed decision. So thanks for stopping by today, and go ahead and make sure to pass this along to one of your friends.